We decided we're going to add some fresh dill because we had some in the fridge, and I thought, because I like pickles so much, I'm just going to go ahead and be a nerd about it. Let me just go ahead and wash that up a little bit, and we're going to kind of get that all kind of cleaned up, ready to cut. So we're going to get that nice and rinsed. Now, the only thing that we really need to cook right here on our veggie tray is the collard greens, because collard greens is her powerhouse of nutrition. This is something that everybody should implement into their menu at maybe once a month or as much as you can get it in there. This stuff is packed. It makes the top list on so many disease-fighting foods. And so we're grateful for that. But we don't want to waste the stems either. A lot of times we just think, oh no, we're looking for the greens. And that's good. We are looking for the greens. But there's something about those stems too. The thing about the stems is we're going to just go ahead and cut them, because we've never done this. So this is a new thing for us. Because we're going to food process them. We're going to just cut them in sizes like that. So we're going to keep it very bulky because it saves a lot of cutting time. And for me, I like to cut that collard in half. I like to get that big dog right there. And I come right across the midsection again. And I like to flip it right on around. It's not about perfection. It's about direction. So the main thing is we're eating collard greens. They're loaded with nutrients. And we're going to sneak it into a wonderful thing like coleslaw. You're not even going to know it's there, but you're going to get all of this nutritional value. It's just amazing. So I just want to kind of strip cut it for now, because again, we're going to go ahead and go into the food processor with it. And I'm using a wonderful knife that my daughter provided. And just fantastic, works wonderful in the kitchen, can do all sorts of masterful things. And so we have the water on a bubble right here. So we're doing really good right there. So what we want to do is take all of this and put that into the basket. And I'm going to put the stems in with it. Again, it's not overly critical. What we're going to do right here is we do this healthy 5-minute steam. And I'm going to add a couple minutes to the timer. And then at 2 minutes, I'm going to start doing my sauteing, because it wants 3 minutes on the saute. So we don't want to overcook our veggies. And I got a couple batches to make. So we're just going to toss in the greens. And this is going to kind of soften up that bite. Because, if you just eat collards right off the leaf, they're pretty strong. Probably because they're loaded with nutrients. And why? It's kind of like medicine, so the better the medicine, the stronger it is, sort of a thing. So we're going to just start the timer on that. We got a 5-minute timer going. In the meantime, we have some options here, and I think I'm going to food process all this, because why not? Why not? We're just going to try it. It's a theory. So I'm just going to start to kind of bulk cut this stuff down. Nothing real critical. We're not getting too crazy with it. Greens are real easy because you can just munch them up and get them all set and ready to go into the food processor. I have no idea what's going to happen when I do that, but I'm very excited to try it. Okay, so we got our parsnips. And again, it's just a winter carrot, so they're going to be white inside, brown on the outside, very much like a potato on the outside, but as far as looks. But on the inside, they're white, and so I guess like more like a white sweet potato is what the inside looks like. But it's in the family with carrots and whatnot, so it's very similar to those as far as their benefits. It just happens to be a winter crop. And so there it is. And I turn around, I've got this ready to go. The fish pop, so I'm not really sure. It could probably just sit there. I'm not really concerned with the fish right now. And what I'm going to do is just start feeding the chute with this stuff here. It's been kind of draining into this right here because I don't really want it to be overly wet, but I do need a little moisture in it. So we're just going to start to put that into the food processor, and we're going to try it. We're not sure. It's getting all over the floor. Oh man, this is fun. Wow, it's like a video game. Okay, and we're going to turn it on. Oh, we're going to turn it. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. We're starting to really work it out now. So we're now that we got so much on the floor, that's fantastic. But here we go. We're going to work it out. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. I just chopped it right up. Right up. Oh yes, that's so good. Look at that. And we already know that greens, and especially when you got colors like this purple, are just so many nutrients that are just so good for the body. And we're talking healing powers that we're still best guessing it, to be honest with you. So we're just gonna throw it in there. Oh, I lost my thing. That's okay, I'm gonna keep moving. Not a big deal, we're just gonna move right on through. It's been a great food processor. I'll be honest with you, this thing does all kinds of stuff. It just blows me away. It's an amazing machine. Look at that. It's shredding itself. I don't have to push it. I love it. Just put it on in there, call it a day. All right, look at that. Shred, shred, shred. It's just really going to work. It's going to work. And we're going to get the rest of it in here. All right, all right, all right. Right already. And now what I want to do, I don't know, because I have no idea. I am not the master chef as far as coleslaw goes, but I'm just going to drop a little bit of white vinegar in there right now, just because we might as well. Oh, I guess I should have shut it off. That's negative points for the kitchen workers. I would be informed that that was not the correct method. I'm going to go with a spatula, which I was not prepared ahead of time with. And I do apologize about that, but we have it here. We'll just do a quick once over. We'll make sure that there wasn't nothing sitting in the drawer that decided it would come on in. All right, so we're going to move this. That's turned off, so we don't want to cut our finger. We'll go ahead and move that out of the way. We'll set that in the sink. We're going to clean that up. And that made some lovely, lovely coleslaw pulp. Now, I went really extra small for a reason. It's not because I'm a fun sucker and want to take all that big stringy coleslaw that we used to grow up eating, and it's such tasty treats. But I didn't want to take that away. What I wanted to do is make it for those easier for those of us who eat it to digest it. Because if it's already partially broken down, we're going to just get more nutrients out of it. Remember, we don't eat for flavor, we eat for God's favor. So we're eating medicine here. So when we think about food, we got to think about it in terms of medicine, and so that gives us the courage, I should say, to try new things and try different things and find the things that God has for us that are set up for our body types and for our own, I should say, the tendencies to feed our flesh. And so we're going to just pop some of these parts out. Not sure how it works. It's something like that. It just doesn't want to come out, so no worries. We're going to turn that off. We're just not going to give any more thought to that. And we're going to move that out of the way. All right, so we've got our big pan right here, and we're going to go ahead and just start going inside there with all of our ingredients. So far, we just got red cabbage and yellow cabbage, I guess, or white cabbage, or I don't know what they call it. To be honest with you, it's just cabbage. Oh, that's our timer. That's a good thing. And we're going to go ahead and shut that off because we're done with the steamer. All right, we're going to just go ahead and come out of there with that, and minus whatever's on the floor. As I get no points for neatness, but hey, there it is. We're just putting it together. We're thankful that we're not working on some kind of stone pit, and we got to stone grind everything and do all that and take 9 hours to make a loaf of bread. So we're just grateful for that. So we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to hit our timer. We want to reset it. Oh, lucky. And we don't need that piece of steel wool right there. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 minutes on the timer for the saute. So now we have our bone broth nice and sauteing up. It's really working well. We want to remove this from the heat because we don't need to overcook our food. We really like the nutrients. Oh, we're actually going to need the food processor again. Of course, all this stuff needs to be food processed. Now you can cut this up by hand. I shouldn't be reaching in here. It just got it out of the steamer. These are some common sense things. Don't always do what I do because you might find yourself getting burnt. All right, so we're looking good in our pot. We're starting to get the core of our coleslaw. We can see there's our base. We've got a long way to go, though. So let's bring this guy back out, even though I wanted to hate on him. We're going to bring him back out. God, I forgive him. All right, help me out, Lord. We're going to bring this guy right back here. We're going to bring this guy right back here. Then we're going to bring this guy right here. Let's just go ahead and rinse it off if we want to get nerdy with it. We did clean the sink before we started tonight. So there we go. We're all nice and clean. We want to get this back in there. Of course, the cutting boards, everything was cleaned. Just so lovely. This is the big one. Let's go with the little. I think, did we do little? You did big?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to stick with big because those are nice chunks right there. All right, we're going to kick it back on, and we're just going to start feeding some of these other parts. Actually, I should get this. I forgot to do the coleslaw. Sorry, my filmographer's not here. Every now and then you catch me with my hand in the cookie jar. I completely missed the step. Totally missed a step, so I guess we're gonna make coleslaw without cooking the coleslaw. All right, fantastic. All right, so moving on. Hey, there it is. Like I said, never done it before. We can turn that off then. We definitely don't need to keep burning away that bone broth right there. Super healthy stuff. Just totally wasted that, no worries. All right, there we go. We're gonna put this back in there. We're gonna start to feed this baby again. Oh, that's a likely story. Oh, look at that. That's going to give us some of the juices that we need. We also need, oh boy, shredded carrots. We're going to find out. Oh, I love the shredded carrots. Look at that machine. Look at it go. Woo, glory. I don't think I've ever shredded a carrot in this thing. And now we already know that it's able to do it. All right, we'll have to get that out of there when we get a chance. Let's try some parsnip and see how it acts with that. Oh, that's lovely. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. Go, 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 go. All right, we're going to toss in our dill and our cilantro. Just put that right in the top. Minus what just fell on the floor. And we're going to go with our dandelion greens. We just put a little bit in there. So good. So nutritious. And here comes our collard greens. We're just going to toss those in. I just put this landing all over the counter. Alrighty, excellent. We got some more. We're going to be cleaning up our board right here. And I think we're about ready. All right, good to go. Let's see how that just sounded really clean. There's nothing in there. Woo, glory. That's just clean. Oh, look at that. That's just lovely. Now, unlike last time, let's unplug it even because I'm prone to make mistakes. So, let's see what we have here. Well, some of this may actually have to go on the cutting board. I see it didn't quite make it into the actual processing part, so we want that to be cut up. So we're going to put that onto our cutting board. We don't want to waste the nutrients. You know, basically what we're talking about right here, we're talking about, you know, less time dealing with colds, just a healthier body in general, a shinier skin, healthier skin. All of these things come into play. Stronger bones, healthy bones. But see, the shredder didn't quite work so well with the greens, but that's okay. So that's what we're learning as we go. So we're gonna clean that off. All right. We got a little bit of skin right there. It's probably good. That can go into the freezer bag. We got another big chunk right there. We don't want the big chunks. We want the little guys. That's looking real good right there. I'm going to take those out. We're going to chop those down a little bit right there. Right there. All right. Other than that, I think it's ready to go in the pot. Technically, I was going to do a healthy saute on the cabbage, but you know what? We'll just see what happens without it. It does kind of help to soften the food a little bit and help the body digest it a little bit better, but I also ran it through the processor, so that's what I'm thinking. It's kind of a trade-off. But cooking definitely has a way of destroying nutrients. So we definitely want to be very, very careful how we cook. But sometimes we actually want to cook a little bit, like for example, tomatoes. You want to actually cook those for a little bit to get more nutrients out of them. Also, mushrooms is something that you want to do a 6 or 7 minute saute with to extract more nutrients out of it. So it just depends on how much medicine you want to get out of your food. Now we're going to just take this all, and I'm a big fan of just kind of pile it all up, grab it all in your fingertips. Try to pay attention not to cut your fingertips. I have been known to do that. It's not unheard of. Which is why I'm not paying attention to you right now, because I'm paying attention to my fingers. Somebody go, oh, there's better tools and all that. There probably are. This is just what I've grown accustomed to. It's just what I enjoy. You can use anything you want. You can use a wooden knife right here if you like. It's really not critical. As long as you can cut what you're trying to cut, that just works out good. And hey, we might get a little bit of the wood from the cutting board, but hey, that's okay. I'm okay with that. It's not plastic, it's wood. So praise God for that. And I think it's bamboo even, so it's a very environmentally conscious wood. So we're just going to put those greens in there. Why? Because the greens are super nutritious. It's not a whole lot. It's going to be a nice batch of coleslaw. So it's not really critical as far as that goes. You know what? Let's make it easy for the towel by getting rid of some of those greens. All right, I'm missing a tool. All right, we're fine. Everything's backwards tonight, but that's okay. I'm just gonna get another wooden ladle because I like to, you know. Anyways, we're not gonna go there, but this is what I use. You can use what you want to use. It's what I like to use. And I think for me, I find that one of the keys to good food and just having a nice quality meal is the time that is put into it. That if you put the time into it, you start to see, you know, this thing right here, this thing's starting to come together. I'm really starting to like this. There's something grossly missing though, and that's a lot of moisture. So we got no moisture right now. So what we need to do, and I want to give it a little bit of a kick. Now most people would measure stuff, but you know what? That's a different world. One day we'll grow up and we'll start measuring things. In the meantime, we'll just put that in there because we just want a little bit of vinegar in there. We want to just start to get a little bit of tang going, because you know coleslaw is coleslaw. And here's where we want to, you know, we want to be fair. Add a little bit of that apple cider as well. I did waste a lot of food. You see all this nutrition that I've just spread all over the counter. It's kind of ridiculous. We'll get that into the freezer bag. All right, so oh yes, it's starting to get a nice kind of a potent smell to it. Now here's where I don't pay a lot of attention, but I'm going to just go ahead and do it. And I'm trying to think. It wasn't rosemary. I'm going to throw in a little dulce too. Dulce is just a little bit of it's a seaweed, right? And so we're just going to put a little bit of seaweed in there. Not much. We want to get the iodine. You know, this thing right here is kicking out 189% of your daily iodine in just a teaspoon. So if I got a couple of those in there, we got lots of iodine coming. You know, I'm a big fan of garlic, so I'm just going to put it in there because it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. And even though we got some fresh dill, I'm going to put a little bit of ground dill up in there, dried dill as well, because why? Because it's nutritional. It's good for us. Unfortunately, I'm out of turmeric. This is the money crop right here. I'm putting in what I got, and it's going in. And then because we put in turmeric, we have to put in black pepper, because we wouldn't really be doing ourselves any good if we didn't. The black pepper will increase the absorption of the anti-inflammatory component of turmeric by about 6,000%. So it's just an astronomical number. So when scientists look at it, they're just like, okay, these two really belong together if you want to get the full nutritional panel. And when we talk anti-inflammatory, we're really talking about anti-disease, anti-everything. Why put in ginger? Because ginger's there. And ginger's super good. You know what? Let's keep them guessing. Put a little bit of beetroot in there. Who knows? You never can tell what's going to happen. Could be some spirulina. I don't know. Just because it's there, might as well. It's good for you. How about cardamom? Let's try some cardamom. Cardamom is great. We've known to reduce blood pressure. I think that's the one for blood pressure. 10 or 15 points of blood pressure drop for those who add cardamom to their diet. I'm not going to add sage because somebody I know has an allergy. So we're going to leave that. We're going to toss a little coriander. Now I think coriander is the one, this is the seed of the cilantro plant. And so you have cilantro, then you have coriander. Coriander is the seed. Drops blood sugar, I think, is what coriander does. Actually, they showed it actually takes obese rats who have diabetes out of diabetic conditions. And so we just want to add it to our food because why? Because you're not even going to know it's there. And the fact remains it's super nutritional. So since you don't even know it's there, because we're really going to go for a tangy, we want kind of like, we want a little pop to our coleslaw. You know, I like a little bit of tang to it. We don't want it to say like it's fermented or something crazy wrong, like for way too many months sitting outside of the fridge or something.